What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Great American Crawl videos. We're at Choccolocco in Alabama, and I don't know if we got chocoed or if we chocoed Choco.
No, I got chocoed.
This was a rough one.
The Great American Crawl came here a couple of years ago, and it looked like an awesome park, so I was excited to come here. Definitely didn't disappoint. It's a very intimidating park. There's a lot of hard stuff here.
So yeah, the last trip, Alex decided to do a kickflip and roll over, and it busted the radiator.
Yeah, so from the rollover, we had to do some minor adjustments to the Jeep since I haven't seen it from Morris. It's pretty much stayed on the trailer the entire time, so we had to do a quick Mishimoto radiator swap. Put that back on. So that was perfect, and then we took the windshield off to go into buggy mode some more. So
perfect for this park.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Let some air through for this very hot weekend.
Air and dust, because it was it was dusty this weekend.
You know, I really like this park. It's been 3 years since we were here. You know, the first time we were here, it was the weekend of Jeep Invasion, so I only got to come out for one day. But I really enjoyed it. I was looking forward to get back out this year. I like it. You know, there's a lot of gnarly terrain out here, and it's dry. It's the last time we were here, it was still. I mean, it wasn't raining, but it was the ground was still pretty wet last time we were here, and it was really dry this time. So, different experience.
The first day we did Hell's Revenge, and I think we had, before we got there, people were breaking hubs, breaking shafts.
I wouldn't quite call it a warm-up. I mean, we jumped right off the deep end into some good stuff.
Then we went through, we tried the V-notch, I couldn't get through it.
I always feel like Rock Buggy operates differently than Gridlock did, right? But I never realized how much it is until this park. Because a lot of the things that I tried to do with Gridlock, I just couldn't do. And I would get stuck, I'd get hung up, I was too heavy, I was just so many things like just stacked up. I kind of got my line where I wanted it, backed up and just sent it right through.
There's a lot of logs and trees that are down that are moving in the trail, which kind of surprised me. That kind of added a different challenge to things because we're normally used to rocks sliding and shifting, but the logs those are all slick and they kind of threw a kink in things.
It went through it a lot easier than I thought it would. I was worried about like a lot of stuff like Nick was talking about where you just had to get, I mean, getting the front end up and over everything was easy. It was just a matter of trying to hit it at the right angle so the rear was positioned. That second ledge about halfway up was a little tricky. I ended up pulling cable on that just because I got over that one log, and when I went to try and jump the back end up over it, it just like shot me 90 degrees right. It was not a fun situation, and I couldn't back up, so I pulled the cable on that.
I think there's going to be a admit defeat moment. a pretty good time. This was my first time at Choccolocco. I think my rig did a pretty good job. Found out that it was pretty capable. And yeah, I had a good lead.
He said he was going to ease into things, and he eased into the cliff on the right.
To a straight turtle.
Yeah.
So I saw the one rock come flying by my leg. I'm like, damn, that was close. And then the next one like cracked me in the back of my noggin.
I didn't see, like, I just thought you went, whoa, like stuff's going by me. I didn't know you actually got hit.
Oh, yeah. I felt the water coming down my neck. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that don't feel right. Then Karma took over and smoked his hydro line.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. Sorry, John.
He blew a hydro line in the engine bay that went from his power steering pump to, I think it was his reservoir or his hydro boost.
I went up and hit the V-notch, and then I got denied on the V-notch, so then I slid off in between the tree and the V-notch, and I tried to make the little right turn instead of backing up like a good civilized person, and that's where my monster valve broke.
Oh no, that's not it. This is why we can't have nice things. We'll fix it like I did. I don't think I have those.
And then we heard another pop. What was that other pop behind you?
Oh, that was Gage. It was great. Because I blew my monster valve, and then Gage wanted to do the same thing too, so he broke his valve stem on the back too. Within like 5 seconds and 5 feet of each other. It was great.
What a day. So we're trying to fix 2 valve stems on the last 2 cars on the first trail, and we're not even out of the trail yet. So long morning for Friday.
So I have a power tank tire repair kit that's came in handy a few times now, and it has an emergency valve stem in there, and gave that to Gage, so he was fixed up in a minute or 2. Mine we got a lot more creative on because the monster valve was a lot harder to fix. But we used a combination of blue Loctite, Teflon tape, the tire patch stick things, hopes and dreams, some heat, and some plastic melted into it, and it held.
I can bring my truck right to there, you know what I mean? Later and just...
All right, well, you leaving this thing here and going with us, or you? Yeah, bring it.
So.
All I could see was it was going to be a hammer down obstacle, and there was going to be a lot of sliding because there was a log kind of ingrained into the ground that was all just stripped out and slick. I ended up bellying out and having to hit on it a couple times. Put me quite off camber. It felt like to the driver's side.
I went too far right, and I picked up the tire, and it got scary.
I think your extra height helped you out there.
Yeah, the 42's coming in clutch once again. But yeah, there's a little traffic jam over there. So you all were on the right side. There's kind of like a middle-ish, not really a line. So I decided to go that way.
So once we got everyone going, we had to leave John's rig there because he had to have a hose brought in. And so he just jumped in with you, and we went up to Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb is great after Hell's Revenge, so it's super convenient. It's a bunch of huge loose boulders and rocks, and it's just like a long rock garden.
Yeah, so I mean, it's without being like any rain out here, there's a lot of like loose rock boulders or whatever, and the Cherry Bomb Trail is pretty much just loose boulders with a sprinkling of trees.
There's a huge optional, like, massive rock line, and it's insane. Like, it's scary. Like, I get up on it and I'm just scared, like staring at the sky, and it's intimidating.
It's pretty gnarly. And when I put tires on with Gridlock, I remember I lifted. You jumped in there and tried it, and you're too long.
Because I got it. My front end pulled up over it, and then it was just belly. It was just no way
You're like,
around it.
in, don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm giving this thing, I think I even said it on camera, I'm one more chance and I'm out. Like, I'm done with this thing. I'm not gonna be here all day. And I pull up on it, and like that line, whatever it just like walked right out of it. And I was like, where the fuck have you been for the last 30 minutes, line? So that was pretty cool.
Rock buggy did that. That took him a couple tries, but rear steer helped him out again. So he got on that, and then we thought he was gonna walk it. For the most part, he was doing great. Like, he was on the line for a long time.
His passenger side rocker was sitting on top of that little rock that jetted out. So as he was going up, he was inching up as he spun tires, and it was just sliding the rocker. That's what it was holding him back. But as he was sliding forward, he was also sliding off of that rock. And when he ended up coming off of the rock, and the rock kind of went right into his passenger seat.
That doesn't happen to Troy very often.
It doesn't happen to Troy. Him and I play around all the time on obstacles, and I think he's like 370 wins, and I'm 0. But now I'm 1. I got 1 win.
Now it was hit this corner right here. And that's fine. If it'll pull it off, I'm good, but if it's gonna dig into it the whole way, if you would have tried to back down.
That turned into like a lengthy recovery. I think at the end of it, we had like 3 winch lines on it. We had a pulley, Andy, and another guy on the back just trying to push him off to get him up. It was a rough, I think that took us like 40 minutes just to get him out of that. To not destroy the car, obviously.
Show me that. It's doing it because this has a lot of slack We drove over to boat ramp.
So boat ramp is pretty much like, think of a boat ramp at a marina, and just, you know, usually they're filled with algae and people slip trying to get up and drop their boats in. It's a natural looking boat ramp that has water coming down, and throughout the year you'll have more or less water, but it's actually funny because the section of it that has the most traction is in the water on the left side. Lately, I've heard it's become more of a sticky tire obstacle. Like if you have stickies and a super low crawl ratio, like with a 4.3 T case or something, you could crawl up super slow, or you have to send it all the way from the back like a bouncer or something and just let her eat all the way up. The Bug's super capable. It's a super capable rig, but it doesn't have stickies. All of a sudden he went to just go up, and all we hear is just popping and the rear axle not axling.
I ended up shearing the hillside of my entire 14 bolt in the rear and just took everything off.
Troy got on that, and I think he's probably the most capable slow crawler this weekend. He's got water in tires, he's got stickies, he's got 43s, he's got a super low transfer case ratio and gearing and all that. So he pretty much got on it and just like inched up as slow as possible, which is what makes that obstacle possible. If you spin tire and brake traction, it's just gonna slide you all the way back down. So the trick is just inch up as slow as possible.
Troy came up behind you, yeah, and he walked right up that one.
He did?
Oh yeah, he walked right up boat ramp.
I didn't see it. Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
I was gonna give it a shot. I was behind Cam.
It's like water, and I love waterfalls, so I was like, wow, this is a vibe. Like, I want to try this. I'm so excited. I would get like I thought it was a decent way up. Probably to everyone else it probably wasn't. But, you know, there's water and then there's a dry spot. And I was like, well, dry, obviously it's gonna be not slippery. So that's what I was shooting for.
She was making progress, but it just wasn't working out.
What was your plan B?
Back up and grab second. So
How'd that work out?
I honestly got really far.
You got really far until you didn't.
Like, I am aimed for the prize. I am aimed to go to the top. And then you can see the Jeep. Tire's still straight. You can see the Jeep kind of start turning. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And then I hit a ledge. And I think I kind of tweaked. Yeah, I hit a ledge. And then, so it like pogo sticks onto its roof. I was buckled into my PRP seat, shoulder straps on, and I pulled everything tight, and I was like, all right, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. You know, I don't like not being safe. I'd much rather be completely buckled in. I even got the 5th point for my harness, to keep me in, and I like that a lot, the little 5th point. I feel like it's annoying to some people, but I absolutely love it.
You all right?
Yeah.
I do a lot. No matter what happens, yeah, she's a hell of a good sport.
It was fine. My first rollover, it was a little easier. This one was a little more scary because I felt it and I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. So I kind of just held on and I closed my eyes really tight and you can't see it in the GoPro footage, thankfully, because I'm like, wow, that's embarrassing.
You know, we got good use of all of our Factor 55
How
stuff.
does it feel to be the anchor in the group?
Yeah, now, I feel like I'm a good anchor.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if
it's like you're built to be the anchor.
Because I feel like if it's gonna move my Jeep, it probably just needs to stay on its lid.
Yeah, I like that.
Snatch blocked off a tree, ran down, got her rolled back over pretty. Getting her back over on the rubber was pretty easy, and then it was. I feel like the biggest struggle of that recovery was actually getting her positioned, and then we had to do like 3 or 4 more pulls and get her winch involved up front just to get her positioned to where we could get that thing rolled back to kind of stable ground to pull the plugs before we fired it back up. But
here I come. Welcome. Dude, they're warm. It's almost like this motor's been running all day or something. Kick flip all the way over this time.
But we had a good time. But man,
it was a blast. I give it that. The entire day was awesome. It was fantastic. We hit a pretty decent amount of trails. We had a good time.
We kind of all got humbled a little bit for the weekend. We didn't really know what to expect for day 2, but it was a good day.
I will gladly take dust over mud. Mud, yeah, right.
The dust kind of lingers, and it takes a little bit to get out of yourself and your Jeep.
All right, so yeah, you do have a point. I would still, I mean, the dust is like, it sucks because it gets everywhere and you're still super dirty, but like mud, I don't know, it's like an ick. I don't like being wet. I don't like the cleanup of it. I don't like any of it. Dust, I could deal with some dust.